Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. NFL Sunday action. We've got Seattle traveling to play St. Louis. We got two teams off of big losses last week, Brian. Seattle stunned at home by the Dallas Cowboys. In a later video, we'll be talking more about the Dallas Cowboys. But Seattle, Dallas took it to them last week. Legitimized Dallas for sure. Seattle, now do we start to say they're not as good as we think they are? Russell Wilson didn't have a good game. They didn't get anything offensively going, and that's not a juggernaut defense that they're facing. But fortunately for them, they're not facing another juggernaut defense this week.
Yeah, the problem you run into when a team comes into the season is the consensus best team. We're seeing it with Florida State in college football. There's nowhere to go but down. You've already hit your peak, and that's what Seattle has done. Preseason, they looked terrific, so everybody thought, okay, well, this is just a continuation. But I still think they're the best team in the league. Denver and Seattle are the best too. But the Dallas situation, Dallas put all their draft picks into offensive line, and they're just running people over, and they got a great running back here from Las Vegas, and they've been pretty impressive. But you're getting Seattle, and everybody talks about the Seattle home field advantage, and it's been tremendous, obviously. But take a look at what Seattle's done on the road. I believe they're on an 11-3 run against the spread on the road. 6-2, this coaching staff off of a loss. So you're getting Seattle off of a bad performance here, and they're playing a team of St. Louis. Overall, the Rams have played them pretty well. But this isn't the same Rams team as we've seen in the past. We talked in the past about Fisher being a great underdog. I don't think he has the personnel to do that this year. And what really hurts for St. Louis is when you take a look at their schedule, last week was a huge game. Monday Night Football, playing at home against a divisional rival in San Francisco. Take the lead 14-0 in that game, totally collapsed. Now, part of that had to do with the referees. Yeah. Part of that had to do with just a bad quarterback play on that ending of the first half. An 80-yard pass reception put San Francisco back in the game and brought up their confidence going into the second half. But you take a look at line play in this game, and Seattle should dominate on both sides of the line. St. Louis can't protect the quarterback, and they can't stop the run. You got Marshawn Lynch, and that guy's the hardest running football player that I have seen in the NFL.
I agree with absolutely everything you said, and you go one step further and talk about St. Louis, and it's ironic that they had a 14-0 lead and blew it. As I said to my clients last week, and I always email, share, my plays and my thoughts with you. I said I wanted to take St. Louis on Monday night against San Francisco in the worst way, but I actually told my clients I just can't pull the trigger because I don't trust the St. Louis team because they have had big leads several times this year and have not been able to close the games out. And most notably the 21-0 game against, Dallas. And you're playing at home. You're not supposed to blow leads like that. And that is a problem with this team. And what was supposed to be the strong suit of this team has turned out to be the weak link of the team, and that's the defense. Nobody thought the offense was going to, be what it is. They got to be absolutely surprised with how well Davis has put up numbers this year after they lost their starting quarterback in preseason. But the defense has just been a total mess. There's nothing I can say about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. San Francisco in that game, even though they were losing, they weren't running the football. I tweeted out they'd only ran the ball 5 times and 4 of those with the running back. And St. Louis defensively, they can't get any pressure on the quarterback. I mean, they've got 1 sack, I believe, on the season, and they cannot protect their own quarterback. And give Davis all the credit in the world because he's putting up some pretty good numbers considering he has nobody blocking for him. So it's been pretty impressive. But now you're going up against that Seattle defense. I don't know.
So your play is?
Play on Seattle here. I'm not usually one of those guys that likes to play a road favorite here. But St. Louis, that was a huge game for them. And losing that game, it's a wake-up call once again for Seattle.
And Seattle's not going to take them for granted because, as we talked about with that Monday night game last year, Seattle went into St. Louis last year and almost lost here. So they're going to be focused. They're not going to take them for granted. There you have it. Brian says go ahead and take Seattle minus the points on Sunday. I agree with them. And if you're checking out Sunday, head over to WagerTalk.com. One of our cappers, the Prez, has been doing very well in the NFL, and he's going to have his 5% NFL Game of the Month on Sunday. You can check that out. And as I said, you can pick up all of our cappers. Pick any capper you want. You can get $69, get complete coverage Thursday, through Monday. All access package, but check out the Prez's Game of the Month on Sunday. He's on a big run in the NFL. All right, we're going to come back. More NFL action for you next on WagerTalk.com.